Wheels are turning, the yarn's in tow. Through Alberta's fields where the wild winds blow. Connie threads tales with Helen spin. Kim's got the tea, let the chatter begin. The Abbey Acts, they weave the sound of yarn and fibre all around. Knit one pearl, one story's flow. Tales of stitches everywhere we go.
Welcome back to the Abbey Acts podcast. We're your hosts, Connie, Helen, and Kim. Today we're going to be discussing fiber arts retreats, what we look for in retreats that we hope to attend, and also what we look for in retreats that we're planning. Helen?
Ooh, what do I look for? Let's start with what I look for in a retreat to attend. I have thoroughly enjoyed being part of knitting retreats because it's always a great chance to get back together again. Sometimes we see people only once a year at retreat, and it's nice to hook up and see old friends and, of course, meet new ones. There is always a challenge of what new skill are you going to learn, whether it's a class that's being offered or whatever, but people are always so willing to share their skills and their abilities, and that is just such a thrill to be able to go and go, oh, I always wanted to try that. And then someone will give you their time to sit down and go, oh, well then let me show you how you do that. Let's grab some wool. Everybody always has lots of wool. We always seem to end up with taking way more than we need, but so
I forgot to ask, since you mentioned it, what are you working on today?
Oh, what am I working on? It's a pair of socks with sheep on it. The pattern is actually a cuff down pattern, but when I made it, it looked terrible. And I followed the pattern exactly. In fact, I undid it and redid it a couple of times because there were parts of it I really didn't like. So I'm now reworking the pattern, trying it as a toe-up pattern to see if maybe it'll go better. If you follow the pattern directions, the foot of the sock ends up being about 2.5 inches too long.
Oh.
And that is to gauge.
Interesting.
And it's like, okay, do I want to unravel this and try and figure out how to... I will just try it toe up first. So that's what I'm working on. So every so often I have to make notes because it's like, oh yeah, that's what it says there. I have to reverse it. I'm not decreasing, I'm increasing for toes. So.
Very important, for sure.
Yeah. So, Connie, what are you working on, and what do you look for in a fiber arts retreat?
So I'm back to working on the Pippi baby jacket, which they say is inspired by the Elizabeth Zimmerman designs. That's the one I was working on, where it's originally started in 5 pieces and then put together. There was a brief hiatus because it looked like I was going to lose my game of yarn chickens. So I have located more yarn and we're back to finishing that. As far as retreats, Helen strikes up on a good point about the skills and things that you learn. Something I really look for is downtime. I need a lot of downtime. It's important. It is my getaway. It is my recharge and refresh. So I don't like something too structured. I like to have time just to be and sit and knit. And I look for affordability. With the rising cost of everything these days, a retreat that's the same as my month's take-home pay is not a retreat for me. I need something that's a little more flexible, a little more affordable for me to feel good about taking the time. What do you look for, Kim?
Well, right now, I'll start with what I'm working on. I'm still working on the not quite a half circle shawl. It's just a really easy crochet pattern that's all double crochet stitch, and chains. For retreats, like both you and Helen touched on, I really like the togetherness aspect, getting to spend time with our fiber arts friends, learning new skills, getting to see what everyone's working on. Cost is a factor that I do take into account. I'm thankful that I'm fortunate enough that usually there's at least two or more of us that are able to share on a room, which does help bring down the out of pocket cost for where you're staying. And then I also look at are meals included or what's in the surrounding area that is available for meals, or does the room have kitchen facilities where we can then take care of the meals ourselves for the weekend.
Yeah, at the very least, a little bit of a mini fridge and a microwave. You can do a lot with that, and maybe bring a crock pot. So
yes, when we were originally going on our retreats, we used to take crock pots along all the time because there was often a potluck for the original retreats we were attending.
Right.
Which was nice because you got to experience all different foods. And yeah, those are kind of the things that I look for.
So I guess that brings us to why we're doing the retreat in the spring. Why is Yabby Yaks hosting the Yarn and Yonder retreats? Because they're important. Everybody needs that downtime. Everybody needs that time to relax, to recharge, to reset, make new friends, learn a skill. And our retreats are, as you'll find out, not very structured. We have things that we do, but they're done when everybody's up. Which is the other nice thing is there's no having to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning unless you're one of those people who are up naturally at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm just going to say, because we have two early rising yaks and one yak who likes to sleep.
I was not pointing any fingers.
Sleepy yak right here.
So, that's why we did the retreat. We want to re-experience the coming together, having some time set aside just for us to do what we like to do, and explore the area. So, part of Yarn and Yonder, the Yonder part is we're going to go yonder and try different locations. The spring will be in Drumheller, and we're looking at making Drumheller every spring. That will be our home stable. That's where we'll go back to every spring. But the one in the fall, you just never know where we're going to end up. I mean, we're looking at Jasper this year. It might be Grand Prairie next year. You just never know where we're going to end up on our fall yondering. So.
Exactly. And I mean, affordability, you can control it. If you want to spend more, you can. If you're on a bit of a budget, there's ways to stretch your dollar. But it's really that learning from others, that quality time with friends that, you might not see. That's how I ended up learning how to knit socks. I was at retreat sitting next to someone who is an expert sock knitter and admired their work and said, no, it was Shelley. I said, boy, I'd like to do that someday. And she said to me, got any sock yarn? Yeah. You got needles? Yeah, let me see them for a second. And the next thing I knew, she said, here you go, now you're making socks. I still have those socks, though one of the skills I need to learn is how to darn them, because I've had them long enough now they need some repair, so. But I don't think ever since I have made a pair of socks that fit as well as that pair did. Yeah. Maybe I need to sit next to Shelley again.
One of the things that I do love that we've always had at our retreats, though, has got to be the gift exchange. I mean, the budget has increased with the change in the economy. Originally, when we started going on these retreats almost 20 years ago, the budget was about $25. We have increased it now to $45, but I mean, the cost of everything has gone up so exponentially. That unfortunately that has been something we've had to take into account.
But it gives more people more room to make sure that their gift is something not only that they would want to give, but something they would want to receive.
Yes. And I mean, we encourage everyone, if they have stash that they don't think they're going to utilize, they can include that in their swap package. But it is so much fun to see what goes into those packages and how creative the crafters can be at coming up with their swap packages.
And then the fight to see who gets to take which one home.
Well, I'm not sure if we're going to have that for the spring one, Helen, because we were going to try a game around the swap packages this time. However, we may have to bring back the battle of the swap packages in the future.
Oh, I don't know. The dice for that swap game. Pretty neat.
Be interesting to try it and see how it goes for sure. What are things you look to put in your swap package? Are there things that are, part of every package for you? Do you do a theme? Like how do you approach making a package that you're potentially giving to somebody you've never met before?
Well, I have been known to make a quilt. If I've been fortunate enough to be gifted fabric, I do take into account what it would cost me if I was buying the fabric.
We've lost the sound on our youngest yak.
Our baby yak has gone away.
Yeah, we really lost the sound on her. Oh my.
That's unusual. Maybe we should take it with us to retreat.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My microphone must have gone dead.
Oh dear.
But as I was saying, I mean, I have made quilts for retreats. I found Dollar Tree now sells layer cakes of fabric, so I'm able to get fabric if I want to make a quilt for a reasonable cost. If I'm not sewing something for a retreat gift, I will typically either stash dive or try and find yarn that speaks to me, and I'll look for a pattern to accompany the yarn as a suggestion. It doesn't have to be what that pattern is created with the yarn, but at least it gives the recipient a suggestion. Otherwise, I've been known to include yarn bowls because we do have 3D printers. Stitch markers or some notions are usually included. I'm trying to think of what else I've tended to toss in. Usually something that I've managed to find on Temu online, because Temu is a dangerous rabbit hole for me to go down.
Makes the dollar go further, really, though, and you can find some really practical items. I think for the first time, I'm going to try to pack my gift kind of around a theme this year, just because I know we're going to be meeting many new friends, and I do have a theme. I won't disclose my theme just so that it's not given away right now, but I do have a theme. Of course, I want to make sure that there's some yarn in there. For me, that's kind of your go-to item that, to me, most swap packages kind of need to have, depending what they are. I also like to make sure I put something in there that I've personally made, be it cookies, or Kim and I've made candy before, or homemade cards, or something that's not the knitting or crochet craft itself, but something else that is handmade. Just puts a little more personalization in it. I mean, as you saw when we unpacked our notions bags, you only need so many notions. What do you like to put in a sock package, Helen?
Well, in a sock package. Oh, okay. In a swap package? Yes. I have always, and I don't know why, but I have always done themed. And it can be anything from once did one that was sort of done as a retro 20s, 30s theme, like an Art Deco, and was able to find antique buttons and antique patterns and look stylized rulers and stuff. So it was fun to put that one together. And then I actually had an old 1952 knitting magazine, so that went in there. So
Oh, wow.
so I don't always include wool in mine, just because sometimes it doesn't quite fit the theme. And sometimes people just have more than enough wool. But so I always try and put it around a theme. And again, other people just sort of go to the store 3 days before and randomly pick stuff and put it together. I mean, you don't have to spend a lot of time. I mean, I spend most of my retreats in May. Well, I already have stuff starting for the fall.
No, I have not been known to start shopping for the next retreat on the way home from the one I'm at. No.
Either. However, I do recall times when we used to go to Jasper many years ago, stopping at Joe's Yarn Garden and running into many attendees who were there to buy their swap package.
Yeah.
Or that last item for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got everything I need but yarn.
So yeah, they're always fun. They're always intriguing. Everybody has a different idea to put in it. I have never seen a swap package that somebody has not wanted. There's never been one that sort of people sort of went, oh, this is what I ended up with. I mean, It's just a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I always like to try to pack mine in such a way that it would be fought over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Something unique, something fun. We're going to try a fun theme this time and see. If that might be my thing. It might give you some ideas what to put in. I have a couple things already. Obviously, I need to get cracking on that. It's almost retreat time. So, yay! How many more sleeps? How many more?
I think we were down. Let me check now.
As we're filming, it's how many more sleeps? 22?
I'm just checking to see. I believe it's 22, but let me double check that.
So by the time you see this, a retreat will almost be here. And there'll be a lot of happy yaks. So
Yes, we are down to 22.
yeah.
Yes, that's something I always think we have so much fun with. I mean, we have a lot of fun planning and doing this together. But I mean, the sleep countdown, I don't remember when that started or who started it. But I just remember this now has become the annual thing, is who's going to be the first one to start posting the number of sleeps.
Yes.
And this time I think it was one of our new attendees, wasn't it, Carol, who first attended? Oh, only so many days until. I went, yes, someone started the sleep countdown.
Well, I think it's nice also to see people coming back out. World events in the last few years took away a lot of these things, and I think it's time that we started going back to things like this that brought us joy and brought us back out into the world a little more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I mean,
sorry,
I was
Kim.
just going to say, if you're planning to be in the Drumheller area the first weekend of May, you can still register if you would like to come and join us on the Saturday, or if you would even like to attend for the full weekend. Registration is still available on the yabbyax.ca website. Unfortunately, we have now passed the deadline for the reduced hotel rate, but we are still at this point accepting reservations if you would like to attend.
Yeah, don't hesitate to come on out and meet us, and we're looking forward to meeting a lot of new people. We might even get some folks from the Drumheller area that just come for the day. They don't necessarily come to spend the whole weekend, but we're going to have some good times. I think maybe the thing I'm looking most forward to is yarn bombing the dinosaurs.
Yeah, we still haven't got permission for that one yet, so don't get too excited. I haven't heard back yet. It's on my list. So
Well,
yeah, that would be a fun thing we could do.
I do have one thing planned for your embalming the dinosaurs. It won't hurt them. I've just got a little ear warmer.
Oh, that's cute.
That is cute.
So
Yeah, good idea.
it's just a really easy garter stitch knit, and then you just folded the two ends into each other.
Mm.
I'm thinking scarves, that sort of thing are going to be easier to get on some of the dinosaurs.
Especially the one who tried to steal my hat last year.
Maybe he needs his own.
Yes.
Yes, our knit along last year was the Alaska hat. And that dinosaur was determined to go away with me. You need to check out our webpage because I think the picture's on there. If it's not, I'll make sure it's on there because he's.
I don't think it's currently on our website, Helen, so you will have to upload that picture.
Oh, okay. Then I will make sure you can go onto the website and check to see that dinosaur eyeing my knitting, but he's got my hat on.
Oh dear.
They were sneaky.
Yes.
They're everywhere too.
I know.
I don't know if we have attendees that have never been to Drumheller before. The vibe there is just so much fun. A lot of times you think of dinosaurs and little kids, but this is dinosaurs for all ages. I don't know how many people know the history of some of the dinosaurs. Apparently, many, many years ago, there used to be a fellow that had a piece of property and had the dinosaur statues on his property. But over time it didn't work out, and so they were relocated all over town, and they've just grown from there. And it's fun to scavenge your way through and see how many you can find. Look everywhere for dinosaurs. And Drumheller's really gone with that theme. I know we found the coffee company. We found Well, we found Dino. We found there's an alcohol company, and there was Pop too with the dinosaurs. So there's really the opportunity for a little bit of souvenir, a little something to remember your trip by with a dinosaur that isn't necessarily just a dinosaur.
Well, and the one place we definitely will. Sorry, the one place we definitely will be going is the Badland Fibre Store. Because Rosebud River Mill has their wool in there, and the other lady who runs it, she does felting. She has some beautiful felting kits of all different types of felting. I never realized there were so many different ways to felt. And they now have a weaver as well. Now, I know the weaver's going to be at the Rose City Fibre Festival, which unfortunately was the same weekend. But some of her stuff will be on display. So we will be paying them a visit. And
I know that one thing we enjoyed our last visit was how welcome we were made in the town. Oh. The town, the various retail merchants that we spoke with were thrilled to hear that this is what we were looking at for our home base for our retreat, and more than happy to make us feel welcome.
We should also stop by and see Tara, since I have seen online that unfortunately it looks like she is only going to be in Drumheller for the next couple of years.
For those who don't know who Tara is, she is the world's largest T-Rex. She is the one that you can climb to the viewing platform. So catch her while you can. They're really trying to save her. But, we definitely want to make sure that we get some photos with her and things while she's still there. So,
yes, and I would also like to check out the ferry and the Littlest Church while we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes, we're going to be all around. It'll be fun. Like you say, the welcome we received at Drumheller was incredible. I mean, we had the one lady who did the clothes and the kids' toys. We ended up going home with a bag of candies each to have with our tea when we got home. We went to the tea shop and got to sample some new teas. I mean, yes. Everybody was just very, very excited we were coming and looking forward to us all being there. So we're excited you're coming. And if you're thinking about it and going, no more, do come down and join us, even if it's for the day. Come down and join us, and we would love to have you come down. So,
definitely. And if you see us out and about in Drumheller, please come up and talk to us. We'd love to meet you.
You won't miss us. We'll have yaks on our shirts. We'll be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ferry, and the Littlest Church is always a great stop. So
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like you say, that's where we'll be every spring. So that'll be great because there's always something different that you missed the last time, or you'd like to go back and see again. And we'll definitely be doing it. So it's a great place to call home.
Comment below and let us know, what do you look for in your fiber arts retreats? What would you like to see? Are you interested in attending? The information is always going to be on our Facebook or on our website, which is yabbyyaks.ca, and we will try and post it on our Instagram page as well.
Right.
yeah, everybody looks for something a little different. A little bit of. Some people really like structure. Some people are more like myself, where they like some structure, but some free time. To me, that's the perfect balance. I don't want to be overscheduled at a retreat because I'm there to get away from it all, not to be rushing from one event to the next. So we do try to schedule a fair bit of downtime for getting to know our new fiber friends, and getting help with your project if you need it, and just really getting that recharge that we so desperately need these days. So
Yes.
Well, we look forward to seeing you at retreat. And if we don't see you there, we look forward to seeing you at our next podcast. And we will be podcasting from Drumheller, so there will be one showing you some of the antics we get up to during retreat and at Drumheller. But in the meantime, we'll be back again. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Put your comments down below. And we'll see you next time.
see you next time.
Yabby yaks, they weave the sun.